Okay guys, we are now into the final international break of the calendar year. Obviously we've got an international break coming up later in the year, but this is the final time for teams to qualify and secure their place at the World Cup, barring the playoffs. As you can see here, all the teams in gold currently on the page are teams that have qualified. So we have USA, Mexico, Canada, Argentina, Brazil, England, who are guaranteed to be in pot one, and I've also got Morocco pushing to pot one ahead of the likes of Germany. I don't think Germany are going to make it in the end. I think Germany are going to be in pot two. Colombia, Uruguay, Senegal, Japan, Iran, South Korea, Ecuador have qualified. Australia, Egypt, Paraguay, Algeria, Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Qatar, Uzbekistan, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Ghana, New Zealand and Cape Verde have all qualified. So as you can see, there's a very limited space. There's 15 spaces for UEFA teams left, 3 spaces for CONCACAF teams, which is North American, Central American and Caribbean teams to qualify, and then 2 places for intercontinental playoffs. In this video I'm going to talk about all the possibilities and all the teams that can still make it. You can see the teams in white that I have. The teams that are in white on this page are the teams that I think are most likely going to qualify top of their groups and get an automatic place. They are currently France, Spain, Portugal, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Croatia, Switzerland, Denmark, Denmark or Scotland is a close one. Norway, Jamaica, Honduras and Suriname. So let's go into it and let's talk about the first one, which is the Asian qualifiers. And the Asian qualifiers, we're on to the final game, which is now the United Arab Emirates versus Iraq, and the winner of this game goes into the intercontinental playoffs, which we'll just talk about at the end of the video. And yeah, the winner of this game will go into that fixture, and that is a route into the World Cup where there's 2 spaces out of 6 teams. And I think out of these 2 teams that Iraq has the best chance of beating the United Arab Emirates, not only because of how the fixture is, but because Iraq have that second leg at home. It's the kind of leg that can help them push through it. There weren't a lot of goals in the United Arab Emirates games. Iraq are a team that can get goals. They've got some good players, good young players in that team that can do something and get them to the World Cup, which would be really interesting to see. On to the African qualifiers now, which is the CAF, for the Confederations of African Football, and there is going to be a multi-playoff system here where Nigeria play Gabon and Cameroon play the Democratic Republic of Congo. And in all fairness, I've made videos on my TikTok many times now about how I don't think Nigeria deserve to be here. I don't get why Nigeria are here, and I hope Gabon send them packing. These games are all getting played in Morocco over the next week, but out of these 4 teams, I think Cameroon have the best chance of getting to the World Cup. They, on paper, have the best team, but Gabon have had the best qualifying process so far. They have done so well in qualifying. It'd be great to see them get into this next round. As the winner of this, so the winner of each of these games play each other, and the winner of that final tie goes to the intercontinental playoffs at the World Cup. I said Cameroon I think have the best chance, but I'd love to see Gabon. I'd like to see a Gabon-Cameroon final really happening here, but we shall wait and see what goes on there. On to now the CONCACAF qualifiers, and as you can see how tight the groups are going into this international break. With Group A, Suriname, Panama, Guatemala and El Salvador. Suriname and El Salvador being 3 points apart, that's bottom to the top of the table. Any of them could still qualify with 2 games left to play. Is a lot at stake for all these teams. Jamaica, Curacao, Trinidad and Bermuda. Bermuda completely out, but Trinidad and Curacao and Jamaica could all still make it to the World Cup. I best make a note as well, guys, while we're talking about this. The 2 best second place teams also go to intercontinental playoffs for the World Cup, which means, you know, you could see 5 of these teams actually making it to the World Cup, potentially 5 of these teams that you're seeing on the page right now could make it to the World Cup. And in Group C, we're going to talk about Honduras, Costa Rica, Haiti and Nicaragua. As you can see, Nicaragua could still make it to the intercontinental playoffs, but it would be a very, very tall order for them to do it. Haiti could also still finish top of the group. So let's go into the games. In that Group A, the first games we're going to talk about are Suriname versus El Salvador, which puts Suriname in a really good place to get to 9 points, and Guatemala versus Panama. That could easily be a draw that puts Suriname on 9, Panama on 7, Guatemala on 6 and El Salvador on 3. And then Panama play El Salvador, which, you know, could go either way in Guatemala, Suriname. You'd hope Suriname get a draw in that game at the minimum. and manage to make it to the World Cup. I'd love to see Suriname at the World Cup. That'd be such a cool little story for them. But you can see it's close games, it's gonna be close battles all, and that Group A is so unpredictable what can happen right now. But hope Suriname come on top. In Group B, Bermuda play Curacao, so Curacao have a good place to set themselves up there to go on 11 points, and Trinidad play Jamaica, so Trinidad could get a point of Jamaica and set Curacao up for a massive game in Jamaica against Steve McLaren's team, and potentially get to the World Cup. I think Jamaica will end up making it. I think Jamaica will win both of the games, to be honest, and it will leave Curacao to having to qualify via the Intercontinental playoffs, because I think they've got enough points to make it there. They get the win against Bermuda, they will be going to at least the Intercontinental playoffs and setting themselves up for justice. And I find them to Group C, where Nicaragua play Honduras, which probably sets Honduras up well to be the team that qualifies for the World Cup. Haiti, Costa Rica sets Haiti up really well to be able to take advantage of that home advantage. And then Nicaragua in the second game puts Haiti in a really good place to get 2 wins here. They could get 11 points, and if Costa Rica do Haiti a favour by beating Honduras, Haiti could qualify for the World Cup automatically, which would be another really cool story. We'll wait and see what happens. Once again, it is so unpredictable, but 5 of these teams could qualify for the World Cup as things stand. On to finally the UEFA qualifiers, and I'm going to get all the teams up because I'm not doing groups. We're going to show you all the teams that could qualify because there is so many. It is insane. I'll do that. You can see here Germany, Slovakia, Northern Ireland, Switzerland, Kosovo, Slovenia, Sweden, Denmark, Scotland, France, Ukraine, Iceland, Azerbaijan, Spain, Turkey, Georgia, Portugal, Hungary, Ireland, Armenia, Netherlands, Poland, Finland, Austria, Bosnia, Romania, San Marino, Norway, Italy, Moldova, Belgium, Macedonia, Wales, Albania, Serbia, Croatia and Czechia are the teams that are still able to qualify. That's why San Marino there, because they're still able to qualify. And then we're going to change it. You can see why he's got the greens orange on there. The Greens are the team that are most likely to qualify, as I've already spoken about. Germany, Switzerland, Scotland, France, Spain, Portugal, Netherlands, Austria, Norway, Belgium and Croatia are the teams most likely to qualify from their groups. The teams in orange, however, are teams that require not only themselves playing well, but also for the unfortune of others. Azerbaijan, Slovenia, Georgia, Ireland, Armenia, San Marino, Finland, Serbia and the Faroe Islands all require big upsets in other places that are likely to unhappen, but they could still happen, so they could still qualify, and that's why they are still here on this page. And there is also in the UEFA qualifying that teams can qualify through the Nations League ranking, and they go to a 16-team playoff, which we'll talk about in a second. But it's the most likely outcome of the UEFA qualifiers of teams that are going to qualify. I probably will go into a bit more depth of it come the weekend when we've had a few more results pop in, and we can go, right, okay, it's the cut time now, guys. We've got a few more teams qualify over the next couple of days as well. But yeah, we're starting to really heat up now. We are starting to really heat up, which is really nice to see. So on to the final stage now, and we're on to the final stage, which we'll see. In the Intercontinental playoffs, we also see Bolivia and New Caledonia have already qualified. We get an African team, an Asian team, and 2 teams from Central North America. And I think those teams most likely, as I said, are Cameroon, Iraq, Panama and Curacao. But a lot could still happen, Costa Rica, Haiti, a lot could still happen in that end group as well, where it is all unpredictable what could happen. But this is what I'm saying is I think Curacao are pretty nailed on for me, and it's whether it's going to be Panama, whether it's going to be Suriname, whether it's going to be Guatemala, whether it's going to be Haiti, whether it's going to be Costa Rica, whether it's going to be Honduras, we don't know. But I think Iraq and Cameroon are a safe-ish bet. Obviously a lot can still happen. And then in the UEFA 16, I think it's the most likely way it's going to happen in Slovakia, Kosovo, Denmark, Ukraine, Turkey, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Italy, Wales, Albania, Czechia, Sweden, Macedonia, Northern Ireland and Moldova. And yeah, I think that's the most likely team that are going to qualify. The way that works is the 12 teams that have qualified from the groups in second place, they go into a pots 1, 2 and 3 based on their UEFA rankings, and then pot 4 will be made up of Sweden, Macedonia, Northern Ireland and Moldova for qualifying through the Nations League. And then we'll put into playoffs where pot 1 plays pot 4, pot 2 plays pot 3, and the winners will then play the final. And then there's 4 spaces there for UEFA teams to qualify via that route, which will be happening after the World Cup draw, which will be interesting to see how that goes on. But yeah, that's all the action. There's a lot of action, especially in UEFA. There's a lot of action that can happen next week. Where you want to be keeping your eyes is that CONCACAF games, which happen on Thursday night, and the UEFA games which happen over the next 2 weeks as well, which is going to be really exciting. We're going to wait and see what happens, and then we get started talking about the World Cup, guys. That's going to be the video, guys. If you like the video, leave a like, and see more, subscribe. Thank you very much, guys, and no further ado, catch you next time. Cheers.